Verse of the day, Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. God will intentionally put you in environments where He wants you, put you in rooms with people that He wants you to meet, and just set you in the right place at the right time so that you can seek further improvement in your life. I remember there was a season in my life where everywhere I would go, I would meet new people who aligned with what I was doing when I was investing in the market and trading. And those people all had the same energy and said the same things. And so I took those as signs, and I tried to keep close to those people and stay in contact with them and stay in touch with them so I could continue to learn from them, because I didn't meet those people for any reason. So I'm saying that to say that anytime you're seeking a desired thing, be open-minded, be aware of the people you're encountering, the things they're saying, the things they do, because those might be signs from God or people that God sent to you in your life at the period of time in your life so that you could continue to progress and move forward. So always be mindful of that. With that being said, let's get to the charts. What's good, you guys? So here we have the Monday chart loaded on the SPY chart, 5-minute time frame. So for Monday, we took rejections off of this orb high level right after we saw two wick confirmations back down into the orb high of 683. We got a confirmed closure once we opened at this 915 candle, going back down into the 683 range, back down to 682.50. We took rejections into right there at the 683 level, right in that all the way back into the zone of orb at 682.5. We trailed our remaining position, and then we ended up getting stopped out once it reclaimed this level. So it's a very quick and easy trade. We took a stab at this trade twice on Monday. So the first trade was a little early, but we did get the confirmed wicks at 683.5. And then we took the confirmed move once we got that closure back below that level. We just used the high up there as a stop loss. So we were able to catch a very quick scalp off of that level. Let's move on to Tuesday. Here we have the Tuesday chart loaded on the SPY chart, 5-minute time frame. We took rejections here off the orb low, but we were very, very range bound between 686 and 685 for majority of the day, until later in the day when we had some news come out and we broke back above 686 with a very large candle going into 687. But before that, we took positions here right around 9 o'clock, all the way from 9 o'clock to about 10 to 11 o'clock. We just stayed in this range. We were just waiting for a rejection to come in off that 686 level, going back down into 685. But we couldn't get it for the longest until we did. We finally did catch it. We took profits right here around 685 exactly. And then it reversed and went back up to 686. Then from there, it broke above 686 and went back into highs. Actually all-time highs, closing out the day around 687. So we reached up to 689 that day, and we got a rejection closer towards the end of the day at 689, and then we closed the day out at 687. So Tuesday was a roller coaster of a day. The volatility after 12 o'clock was pretty crazy, but we were able to catch it at the beginning of the day. Even though we were caught in the chop, we just stayed patient and we waited it out, and then we were able to catch our move to the downside. The risk wasn't too bad anyways, because we caught at the top of that range. We had the stop loss defined. We just needed to see it move in our direction, and that's what we got. So that was Tuesday. Let's move on to Wednesday. Here we have the Wednesday chart loaded on the SPY 5-minute time frame. So Wednesday was actually FOMC. The Fed had a meeting that day, and they reported a 25 rate cut on Wednesday, but that was later in the day. So we took trades at the beginning of the day, and we were able to catch the 689 rejection going into the opening hour. Right around 9:20 was when we took our position. We had our stop loss set to be back above the orb high of the day, which was 689.3. We never reached up there. However, we were able to catch the rejection from 689 back down to 688, taking full profits at 688 because I was, like I said, it was FOMC day. I didn't want to be stuck in a trade all day long. We could have trailed it a little bit that day, but I wasn't too pressed on it. We had a good position in that trade. So we just took profits and finished out the day early. And then later in the day, the market did come down some more after the Fed Chair Jerome Powell came on live giving his speech. The market came down from 688.5 back down to 683.5, closing out the day right around 688. So that was Wednesday. Let's move on to Thursday. Here we have the Thursday's chart loaded. We actually have up a different ticker loaded. Here we have the NVIDIA ticker symbol NVDA loaded up on the 5-minute time frame. We ended up focusing on NVIDIA that day because I like the way the structure looked going into the opening bell. We had the orb range set up here, as you guys see, the highs being 206 and the lows being 201.5. We had a pretty wide range for movement. We were failing to get back above 205, so I ended up taking a position here right around this 9 o'clock candle after we got rejections from failing to get back above 205. I got an entry here at 204.5-ish, and we just used that wick of the candle high, 204.7 as a stop loss. However, we never saw back up to that range. We were able to ride this all the way back into the orb low at 201.5, taking full profits and having a very, very, very good day on the NVIDIA move. We also took Tesla for a nice short move, but we were not in that play long as we decided to focus on NVIDIA. However, Tesla did move just as well as NVIDIA did, but our focus was mostly on NVIDIA that day. So that was a trade we took on Thursday. And finally, let's move on to Friday. And finally, guys, here we have the Friday charts loaded up for SPY on the 5-minute time frame. As you guys see here, we had a lot of rejections come in on Friday. Failing the orb level, once we set it, we were able to catch a move a little bit below orb. We were failing to get back above the pivot level of 684. So we took rejections after failing that level right around 905. We got in here off the failure candle of 683.5, using that candle, that previous candle, as a stop loss. If we got back above that, we would have took a stop loss, but we were able to catch this move down into 682, taking full profits there after we had a reversal back into 684, closing back above it, holding it for a minute, and then later in the day, the market actually did reverse again and go back below 682, failing all the way down to 679, and then reversing again, closing out the day right around 682. So that was last week's trades. Overall, really happy with the execution on those trades last week. It took a lot of patience because there was a lot of news and data coming out regarding earnings reports for the major tech companies. The Fed had a meeting on Wednesday. I believe Trump had a meeting with the China leader on Thursday or Friday. So there was a lot of data and a lot of news coming out last week. On top of that, the federal government being shut down does not make that any better. So the market was very, very volatile and very slow at the same time. So it took a lot of patience being in a lot of trades last week. But our risk was so defined in most of our trades. We were comfortable sitting in those trades and letting the position play out, whether it went to our favor or not, and most of them did, which worked out in our favor in the end. So that's that. Let's move on into what we can predict and see happen going into this new week. All right, you guys, here we have the SPY chart loaded in the 4-hour time frame. As you guys see, we've had some rejections come in last week after we tested that 689 level. Currently, we're holding below another level that looked to be forming, which was 685. And as you guys see, we have the green boxes here, which are gap fill zones. So those were zones that the market gapped over and broke above in the pre-market or after the market closed. And pretty much what the market's doing now is trying to fill those gap zones. So the first gap zone we reached was the 682 to 679 level. We currently filled majority of that gap zone. So now what we want to see is whether or not this gap fill zone becomes a level of demand, or is this a gap fill zone that's just going to be flushed through and going down to the next gap fill zone. If so, the next gap fill zone we have is the 676 level all the way back to 673. If we fail this 678 gap fill zone, we can see back down into the second gap fill zone right below it at 676. Currently it looks as if we are rejecting that 685 level, so we do have potential to possibly see lower going into the beginning of November. However, the market is still in a very, very bullish uptrend. What we would need to see, the level we would need to see break in order for us to see even lower would be back below 670. If we can get back below 670, that would be a indicator to identify weakness in the market and seeing even lower back below 670 would be that level. However, if we continue to hold above 670 and even 676 or 680, we can definitely see higher, possibly even see 700 this month. So my predictions as of right now, we look to be rejecting that 685 level. If we can get back down to the second gap fill zone of 676, we can test for possible bounces off of 676 to 673. If we fail through 673, we can see back down into 670. And if we fail 670, we can brace ourselves for an even deeper pullback, possibly down to 650 or 640, somewhere in that range. However, if we can break back above 685, then we can see possible retest of 689, and then if we can break 689, we can break into new all-time highs and possibly reach 700. So these will be my predictions going into this week and also going into the month of November, because these are levels that will eventually be tested. It's just a matter of when, and depending upon how they're tested and when they're tested, then that would be the determining factor on which way we're going in the market. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure if you guys are new, leave a like and follow. Subscribe, show some love and support. I will be posting videos every Sunday going over the market recaps and market predictions for the following week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys continue to believe, stay safe, stay disciplined, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.